So I think there are two things. So you've got to have investment on the acquiring side, on the point of sale infrastructure, which has to come for NFC payments to take off. Because unless you have a widely available infrastructure, people are not going to be able to use NFC payments, particularly on public transit systems like the metro, like bus systems. Both cards or NFC-enabled phones have to be accepted in an easy and seamless manner. And then on the other side, banks have to commit to be part of NFC or HCE mobile payment programs, and also commit to issuing cards that are contactless driven, so consumers are able to use either cards or their phones as they choose. So you have to have this investment coming on both sides of the payment equation for NFC to take off in Russia. It seems right now the investment is lagging on both sides. The latest technological trends basically give a lot of option for payment acceptance. So they could be magstripe terminals, they could be contactless terminals, but new terminals which at large merchants which can take contactless transactions. So that's a given. That has to happen for the infrastructure to keep up with the international standards. But also very importantly, where there are small merchants that do not accept credit cards, that do not accept electronic payments, that just right now take cash only, there has to be some form of acceptance method for them. So whether these are micro payment terminals like we have iZettle in Europe or Square in the US, some form of technology which is cheap for small merchants and risk-free for ordinary merchants to be able to accept cards for payments and therefore go away from taking cash payments. And for all this to happen, there has to be the right levels of pricing, and also there has to be some incentives for both merchants as well as for users. Because just presenting a good technology is not enough, but there has to be an incentive, whether it's convenience or it's some form of rewards, is really a necessity for people to be interested in something new and then to be able to continue using it. Simply just presenting them with something that is a great new form of payment will be a waste of technology. I think for Russia is taking all the right steps. So, for example, Russia has introduced its own national payment card scheme, which is really, the good thing about that is that it will serve the needs of local banks, and it will make sure that if there is a technology which is more suitable to Russia, can be invested in, then can be encouraged, rather than waiting for it, just all international technologies to mature. What also Russia needs is something like faster payments, where digital commerce transactions can take place quickly, where banks can still be involved in payments, but can reduce the cost of these transactions, as well as make these transactions quite fast and make them risk-free. So those are the key things: to make transactions risk-free, make them cost-effective, and make them very fast, and then allow non-banks, allow smaller companies to take part in the payment system, and not just make it restrictive in terms of that only banks can participate. So in that sense, opening up the payment system and making it cost-effective and making it faster is perhaps what's needed next. No, I think this is the reason I come here is because this is the premier conference for Eastern Europe, and Russia being Russians being known for their technology expertise, and everywhere in the world you see Russians leading, even on the Bitcoin side or on the Ether side. There is a lot of new technology that actually takes birth in Russia, and this conference really encompasses technology as well as financial services and payments in a very wide encompassing style, and a lot of participants here So this is, I would say this is the key conference to attend for Eastern Europe and for Russia, if somebody's interested in that region and investing in that region and learning from this region.